Hello! Here we have them without the miniatures or the rest of the board. Show off all sides and go over it, explain a little how I've made it. And what I like and what I don't like from it. The way I've built it up is as follows. If I show the bottom, it's a little more clear. There are 4 walls with a 45 degrees cut in them, so that you will only have so that the 2 walls would connect on the edge. I was a bit afraid that if I did a 90 degrees cut that you would see the difference. Thinking back, I kind of think it's smarter to do it with a 90 degrees because styrofoam is very soft. 45 degrees is quite difficult to glue and not mess up before it's hard, which you can kind of see here and there. If I would make another one, I would do a 90 degrees cut like this. Let's see, yeah. And then make a corner piece to hide the cuts basically. That gives the piece more interesting lines and it's a lot easier, I think. Floor is built up of 1 centimeter strokes that are as wide as the tiles. Glue those together to make a platform, then glue them to the walls and did that 4 times individually and then glue them all together. Or no, I didn't. The last one I didn't because everything was cut by this machine. I got a 90 degrees angle, current going through to heat up the wire, and I glued these 3 platforms together to cut in where the stairs were coming, as you can see here. That meant I had to burn through PVE glue. That's not a wise thing to do. It worked out, but the machine really doesn't like to do that, and I can highly recommend not doing that. But in the end I managed to work it out, I guess. The stairs are made out of layers from the same thickness. Let's see if I get it in frame. You see here 3 and here you see a couple. All glued together with going in the same length as they are thick to create the stairs. It is a easy way to do it. It's you only have to be very precise when you cut the slices. They have to be exactly the same thickness, otherwise you would get like the last step here is less, and that's because all these steps were 0.1 millimeter thinner than they should have been, than I calculated on my drawing, and that times the, or well, now 1 millimeter, yeah, now about 0.5 I think, and all that together creates for a bigger gap here. Yeah, that's something to look out for when you cut them. It is still easier than cut every stair or every step in one go due to the heat of the wire. If you stay too long on one point, it melts a hole, and I think it would get a lot more messy if you try it that way. Never done it, so maybe I'm gonna try it in the future and tell you what I found out. The decorations on the walls are made separately. The way I've done that is I took a column of styrofoam, like here. This is obviously too long, but that fitted through the machine. I drawn out the decorations on the top and drew that out on the machine so that I had a whole column in the shape of these decorations, and then I cut slices here, still got a couple. Then I had to sand them, because if you run them through a hot wire, the last layer is basically burnt plastic, and it has a different texture and doesn't want to hold on paint as well. So I advise you to sand them at least all areas that you want to paint. The decorations on this big stairs in front are old school Lizardmen shields. I don't know if I can get it sharp. But since they're painted the same paint scheme as the rest, they kind of look like carved. Because they are plastic and not styrofoam, the paint reacted differently than the styrofoam. It was a bit messy, but at the end I'm quite happy with the result. The lines on the platforms you can see, as well as these, are cut in by a knife and then run through with a pencil to make them more wider. And these are run through with filler pencil. I don't know if you call it like that in English. Basically one of these, to get a smaller, deeper cut, given somewhat of a different look. And now back please. There we go. Alright. Foliage you see here and there from a bag. Just bought them at the hobby shop nearby. And grass flocking on the bottom to merge them with the table a little better. The side walls are different pieces as well, because if I put it here on the table it wouldn't fit through. So I made one piece and another one. You still kind of see the line here and here. Not really happy about it, but it's the only way I knew how to get it. And just glued the stairs on each other, except for the last stairs, but the first half first and then this half second. This goes underneath this platform, so it's got somewhat more length to put weights on, to press it in, then glue the sides on there. The pyramid is cut in to exactly this line. Stairs goes in and this is being cut out on these platforms, or on these sides. Had a little gap here, here and here. Try to fill that up with PVE glue and styrofoam dust, which can be used as a filler, but be careful, because PVE glue has a different texture when you paint it than styrofoam, which you can see here and on the other side as well, and here as well. So I'm not really happy with that. I thought it would be less visual than it was. But yeah, once it's glued you can't really do much about it. I tried to sand it off and you will keep seeing it, or you have to really sand it like way away, like completely gone, but then you have the chance of make it this like a hole. So I did what I could do without destroying the whole stairs, basically. But yeah, I'm not really happy about that. Here and there you see marker lines, still visual drawing mistakes here, here as well, but I masked that with the foliage. Little marker lines here. Didn't have to be there, but yeah, oh well. Some PVE glue coming out of the stairs here. Some damages here. I was clumsy and dented one of the decorations. Some scratches here and there. Here it is dented. Here's a dent. Yeah, if you make something from styrofoam, I highly recommend you be very careful, because it's really soft stuff, which is good as well, but it can be problematic. Here I've tried to kind of make a crack in the stone, which I do like. now it's finished. I think I could have done a lot more of those to make it more interesting, but I didn't want to make it feel that old because it's a temple of the Lizardmen that's still in use, so it shouldn't be that weathered. Overall, I'm okay with it. It was the first project I started and it was the first one I finished, and I think if I do another one, which I think I will, it will be a lot sharper, a lot less damage. The paint job consists out of 4 layers, 2 main ones and 2 highlight colors. Most of the lines I run through with a dark green, then drip it out at some points to give it a somewhat mossy feel. If moss gets into corners and cracks, it kind of bleeds out, and I try to get that effect as well. And here kind of spots, but most lines are run down with that. It has a first layer of sand color and a final layer of grey to give it a bit that grey sandstone feel. And then I try to do the same way as you would do dry brushing, just on the edges with a white grey to highlight it, but I really have to train more with the airbrush and I get a more steady hand because it was very messy. Basically, it's okay. I don't mind it being messy since it is basically a temple in the swamp, so it should be a little messy. But I think with better airbrush skills, I would be able to make it look better, basically. These lines are exactly the same done as this. So points to take away from it: be careful with PVE glue, and don't try to melt styrofoam that's already glued. Be very precise with making stairs, and be more careful in general. It did turn out how I've drawn it and how I've imagined it, so that's a plus. And I am happy with it. I am quite hard for myself, or it may look like I'm quite hard for myself, but that's mostly because I want to learn every time I make something, and I want to become better every time something is finished. I am very happy with the result, even if I kind of point out more mistakes than things I like from it. Overall, I'm very happy with it. But yeah, I would really like to hear what you think of it, the clip in general, and this pyramid. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.